Well, Andy, I just watched your video and was leaving a text comment, and when I realised I was 1,885 characters over the limit, I thought perhaps it's time to do a video response. So here it is! I first really became aware of my mortality around 13 years ago whilst walking through the park pushing the pram with my newborn baby daughter in the pram. And suddenly, whereas before that I had never felt an ounce of fear whilst walking home from town at 3 o'clock in the morning through the same park, suddenly I was aware of all the dangers lurking around every corner, and I no longer felt invincible. Then Princess Diana dying, I wasn't one of those who acted like I was completely distraught and made a pilgrimage to London to lay flowers there, but the whole event did kind of adjust my perception of death in quite a big way. It was a big shock to me. I guess it was because suddenly I realised, even though you know in your brain you know these things, but suddenly something happened to make me feel that it doesn't matter how young, how rich, how famous you are, life can still end like that. And you never know when it's going to happen. The next time I remember feeling very aware of my own mortality was just after the birth of my second child, my son. And at the time, that particular birth had been one great big out of control blare of panic for me. And it was only when I saw the shock on my mother's face afterwards and heard how close I'd been to an emergency cesarean and how panicked my mum had been about losing me and the baby, that I realised I really could have died then. And it hit me a couple of days later when literally I just started shaking and crying from delayed shock. Of course, all those are examples of how life is so fragile and can end at any time, no matter what age you are, rather than an awareness of old age creeping up on me. I'm very lucky so far in that I really haven't experienced death in my immediate family. My grandfather died. Your grandfather, though, you see is much older than you, so, you know, very sad and all that kind of thing, but it wasn't someone of my generation. But just this weekend, my father, after walking around Chester Zoo with us, started to show signs of tiredness and actually quite extreme discomfort. And later he complained that I hadn't really shown any sympathy for my poor old 76-year-old dad, who doesn't find it as easy to get about anymore as he used to. It hadn't even hit me that he was 76. And as much as I might have realised I wasn't invincible at the tender age of 19 or 20, I don't think it had ever really hit me that my dad isn't invincible. We still talk and think and act like he'll go on forever. That was just a gentle reminder that he's not going to go on forever. As far as the internet goes, sometimes I feel young here, but sometimes I feel a bit like the last time I went into the club I used to frequent when I was a teenager. Kinda like everyone forgot I existed and I had become completely invisible. The social circle that I used to be at the centre of had only really lasted about 2 years, and several different generations of clubgoers have moved in and moved on since then. Here on YouTube, when I peek out of my cocoon of friends from time to time, I notice that teenage e-celebrities that I've never heard of are dominating the most viewed or most discussed lists. And I know without doubt I am old to them. Charlotte Church had no idea who ABBA was. When I heard that Tony Hart had died, I expressed my sorrow to my daughter and then had to explain that there was a programme before Art Attack that was the foundation of such shows. To me, anyway. I mean, maybe the generation above me will claim there was an earlier art show that shaped Heartbeat. But who doesn't know Morph? Come on. I already feel like an old generation YouTuber. I think it's how you look on things and the attitude you have that can make you feel either old or young. For me, it changes day to day and minute to minute. And talking of feeling old, I've been watching this, which my best friend bought me. I was so made up because I had not seen this since about 1995 when I first watched it when it was on TV. Yeah, see? See how that can make me feel old? Anyone else remember the show? Oh, damn it. It was only meant to be a text response. Good video though, Andymooseman. Got me thinking. Probably a whole different route than what you were thinking. You must be getting used to this interview style, having cameras around. All these cameos you're doing with good